everything like that, and we're kind of like friends, but it's like obviously there's this like huge fucking age gap, and like she wasn't like a prude, but she was not willing to like. It's not like she's not somebody who would have like a one night stand. At least I don't think. But no, she had.
You hooked up with Issa.
Well, Issa can't have kids. She's too fucking old. Okay, look. If I wanted dirty beaner babies, and look, I know she's DTF. Like I used to try to deliberately like creep her out. I'd be like, I'm coming from America.
I got a woman ain't here. A woman ain't here.
No. She won't get mad that I say this. She's like, oh, I'm coming to Las Vegas, and I'm gonna see like some of you guys, and then I'd be like, oh, really? I'm gonna come to Las Vegas. I'm gonna find you. And she's like, oh, really? And you're like, and I'd be like, yeah.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
And like, I would try to like creep her the fuck out, and then she'd be like, okay. And then it's just like, God, I can't fucking troll her. Like, it was so fucking weird.
It's like that fucking Scary Movie 2 scene where she gets fucked by the ghost. She thinks he's getting away with something, and then she just fucking loves it and starts talking about how she's gonna be Mrs. Ghost. Woo! You remember that scene?
I watched all the scary movies, but I don't remember that. But that's hilarious.
Do you remember she wakes up and the ghost has his cock in her mouth?
Pearl, are you dating a nice guy yet? Any guy?
Happy, that's personal.
What? You ask me that all the time. Fine.
Tell the whole world.
Okay, fine.
Hey, by the way, later she gives the ghost crabs. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Crabs.
Yeah. So first, right after they have sex, they're like, he's smoking a cigarette, lying next to her. Of course, it's just a floating cigarette, right? And she's like, wow. She's like, that's the best sex I've ever had. I can't wait to be called Mrs. Whatever. I don't know what the ghost real name was. And he fucking just skedaddles out of that fucking room when she says that. And then later she's like, why haven't you called me? And he's like, you gave me crabs.
It's a governor of Maryland at that point.
Oh, shit. Those movies were good. You guys don't remember this? He fucks her brains out and, like, she goes up the roof and shit. She's, like, having sex with him on the ceiling.
We'll have to rewatch it. We don't have your movie memory.
Tell me at least, Peppy, you remember the scene in Scary Movie 1 where the dude blows his load on Cindy and turns into like a fucking skeleton.
I never watched that shit. Like I'm being
oh my god.
I don't watch that goy slop. Like,
do you guys know a man by the name of Richard Pryor?
Yes.
Yes, homosexual, yes.
He's not a homo, is he?
Oh yeah, huge homo.
Richard Pryor?
Richard Pryor?
Look it up.
That's Dick Pryor. Yeah.
Well, that doesn't surprise me since he grew up in a string of brothels controlled by his grandmother. That's probably why. I mean, if you're looking at
Pryor's widow, Jennifer Lee, confirmed the rumors, telling TMZ that her late husband was always open about his bisexuality with friends.
Oh, so he's not gay. He's bi.
What's the difference?
No, if you suck dick, you're a homosexual.
Okay.
I mean, that is the weird thing, and this is where I think the right wing people are really weird. Is like I actually think being gay is genetic because like my taste of like women is generally like not changed much since I was a kid. I would get like aroused looking at women. Only there's never been a dude, like there's never been an exception. Yes, there's like trans, I guess people that are women, that call themselves women, where it's just like maybe they're photoshopped and it's just like, oh shit, like that looks like a woman. And it's just like amazing. But it's like at the end of the day, like visually, you see what you think is a woman. With all of that being said, that obviously I was over emphasizing the outlier. Yeah, I mean, like I don't think you have any control who you're attracted to. Like if you're attracted to dudes and prefer dudes, like something is like wired differently in your fucking brain.
No,
It's just society.
just pray, and then like women, just pray and be gay. Try it out.
Well, Jesus didn't make me gay. Like I love him for that.
It's such a crazy concept that people are just like, oh no, it's just an act. We can work on it.
It's degeneracy. It's not. It's just
okay, but if I want to be degenerate, it would be doing like kinky weird shit with women. It just like does not involve dudes whatsoever. There's like me being tempted to sin. It doesn't involve dudes. If anything, it's like dudes are around. Like I don't want to be involved. Like when I look at I hear
Randy says.
Well, Randy's a cuck, and so fuck that fucking kike is so annoying. Like I cannot stand it. Like we got into it the other week, but
Randy said when you DP, then your balls don't touch each other. The other guy.
He's so gross. I can't stand him.
Listen, there's nothing moderate about homosexual acts.
Pounds. Give me a break, guys.
Like if you're somebody, and here's the weird thing, like if you are willing to like allow, like I can't. This I can't understand. Like if I was just in a relationship with a woman, I would be. There is a part of me is just like because we have an exclusive arrangement. Like I in a as in like in a toxic way, but there is like a sense of like possessiveness. Like you're gonna.
Where are you going with this? You gonna stick it up her butt? Is that where you're going with this? Why not?
No, what I'm saying is just like to allow another dude to get involved with your woman is so fucking weird. I can't
Pepe, I want you to
understand
be
it.
possessed to leave your house. Can we start there?
What?
Will you come to Arizona?
He will come in
What are you
Arizona.
gonna do with me? I work 7 days a week, dude. I'm annoying.
Yeah.
You need somebody who doesn't work.
She doesn't have time to clean her underwear, bro. She's using Wednesday's underwear right now.
But you need somebody who's baking cookies all day, like Blake Lively.
There you go. Yeah, chicks, you have to watch your wife make out with some like fucking Jewish guy.
I like her. I like her. She's somebody who I could like definitely picture myself being very romantic with.
Yeah, no kidding. She sits home and bakes cookies.
You?
No,
Like
Blake
in terms of
Lively.
like what you do.
Blake Lively. Oh, you're talking about me?
Yes, I'm saying like you're somebody who's like.
Lively goes to work.
I think you're really cute, and then like I think you're intelligent and like I actually think like if you lived near me, like you're somebody I would be like, oh my god, I really like her. But
That's very nice. But you're 4 hours away.
Pepe, go to
Oh my
her.
gosh, 4 hours is nothing.
Pepe, go to
I
her.
don't do long distance.
No, it's 4 hours.
I don't do long distance. I don't have the drive to like care about this shit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Pepe,
Yeah.
I need you to get the drive, the pep in your step.
Yeah, he's too old for
Maybe
that
you
shit.
need to go lift.
I'm 43 years old. Like that died. I'm gonna die alone.
43.
Maybe I'll adopt a dog. And here's what I think might happen. If I'm lucky.
Pepe, you just need to lift weights and it'll give you the testosterone.
But I've lifted weights most of my fucking life. I don't give a fuck
She's
about
trying
that
to
shit.
fucking convince him to get it up for her.
But here's the thing. Like I will adopt a couple of dogs. Okay, we will be best buddies. We'll go to the park
You
together.
can never keep up with me. Are you kidding me? I go all night.
She's challenging you. Oh my God.
With energy. more than me, or at least 50% as much as me.
I mean, like,
You're on the
realistically,
5%.
I won't ask this question, but like, realistically, like, I'm not gonna ask it because I don't. Like,
Yeah,
I like
don't
you enough
ask
not
it.
to
Don't
ask you.
any or number. I just meant
Yeah,
hanging out. Okay, so don't ask it. I meant literally just being around me. I chill, but like, you know, you have to match my vibe. I do chill. My thing is, I'm out like a light. Usually at like 10:30.
Like a light.
I'm out like a light, like boom. And then I wake up at 6:30 and I go all day.
that's amazing.
He likes it in the morning, Peppy. Can you handle that?
Yeah,
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I'm
a high energy person. It's annoying to be around that.
I know, but a specific type of energy, I'd probably outmatch you, but that's fine.
Yeah, but I have a good energy. People like my energy. I'm chilling.
That's good. That's good. But at the end of the day, like, I will adopt a dog. Okay, at least what I'll get to know is that, like, when I die on this planet, okay, my dog, at least if he runs out of puppy chow, he gets to gnaw on my face,
Pepe,
my
you don't wanna have
buttocks. I'm in my 40s. I'm gonna start having
He's in
children
his
now.
40s, Pearl. There's no more condoms. He's sick of that. He's gonna blow his load and no more pulling out. He's 43. There's no
Okay,
holding back
look.
anymore.
43 acts like he's 63.
But you know what? Like, okay, when I end up adopting my dogs, whatever, and being a dog dad, which is equivalent to, you know, the sluts
This
that
is
like to say
depressing,
they're a cat
Pepe.
mom.
Stop.
Like they will get to feast on
Look
my
at you, Pearl.
face and my buttocks and whatever it is. You know, they will get to live. Hopefully, you know, because I don't have any dependents. You know, the coroners will find me soon enough, and the dogs will be readopted. Amazing, and you know that's that.
On you, Pepe?
Yeah, but like my immediate family, but they're way older than me, so you know I am going to die alone.
They're gonna find out something's wrong.
But here's the okay, but when I'm old, no, because like I'll be by myself. Like,
Bro, can you
and here's the
fuck
thing:
this guy
everybody
up,
likes to think like you need to make this like huge mark on your community. It's like, oh, how many people are going to grieve your disappearance? Well, yes, like in an egotistical way, it's kind of like, oh, I made my mark in this world. This many people mourn me. But like at the same time, it's like if you have a death that causes less people's pain, and they don't really care or notice that you're gone, in a way, it's kind of like more humanitarian. And like, I really don't care. Like, I just don't fucking care.
It'd be kind of cool to, like, I don't know, die for some cause, like a last sacrifice benefit something.
Well, I agree. It's just like,
Pepe, are you drinking?
no, I'm fine. So, like, there is.
But did you have a drink?
Sure. But
Open up.
Why did you tell me I wanted to have
Pearl, can you pity fuck this guy already?
no, I'm fine.
Like, make him more happy. I can come check on your dogs. They're close to death. I live like 20 minutes from you, somewhere around that.
Right on.
I think.
in Arizona?
Yeah.
Diego, you live in Arizona?
We all live in Arizona, but
Yeah.
which one do you want? Do you want me, Lou, or Peppy?
Oh, that's cool. I love Arizona. Are people?
Oh wow, she dodged the answer. Wow, wow.
Wait. What did I say?
I don't think she heard the question.
Instead, which one of us do you want? Peppy, Lou, or me?
I meant like, all of you.
At the same time,
Wow.
I have to choose.
Let me introduce you to Rabbi.
Who's the third? Joey?
Mm-hmm.
What's he look like? Is he Italian?
He could be.
But
He
he's
could put
not.
shoe
He's
polish in
Mexican?
his hair.
Is he Mexican like you?
Joey Tupo. Yeah,
He's what?
he's. Hello? He's one of those
Yeah.
Mexican guys, but he's trying to be Italian.
No. I'm Polynesian.
Edmund, did you block
You're
me on YouTube?
Polynesian, so you're like Asian looking?
No.
AKA not hung.
Oh, so like
Ew.
no, No, I'm not Italian. I'm Polynesian.
Wait, like what I don't get is
I know,
like,
what do you look like?
Oh,
see, she's already weighing her options against me. That's amazing.
oh damn.
No, I'm
Nah,
just
so, like-
curious. Like, are you Asian looking?
No, look.
In other words, he looks like a native Hawaiian,
Yeah.
a Tongan, a Samoan.
Yeah, I'm Tongan. Yeah, there you go.
They basically they're like way bigger than Asian people. They're way bigger than every people, and yeah, they just have a different look.
Yeah, we're not Asians. Although we do descend from Southeast Asia, but we just ended up genetically evolving from there because we lived out in the islands. Never get caught up, and for some reason we genetically evolved from being Southeast Asians. But well, yeah, very brown, I guess.
Like I guess this is one of the things I have to ask is like I've mainly like gone against. So I'm somebody who's not like tribal racially out of like how do you put it? Because I want to be, but just because I see that's just how it is with every group of people. And I realize, well, I mean, it's just like you have a chance, but I like kind of like at the end of the day, like examine everything. It's just like what is our purpose in life? Like we're a bunch of fucking rats. You have a bunch of women that just like we want the most resources, men that want the most resources. They want to reproduce with the whoever's they feel is the most attractive. Same with the women. And it's just kind of like, in a way, like we're not what you want to say. And at the end of the day, what do we try to rationalize? Like who is high value, who is low value? It is going to be the people with resources and that look the best so that you can, I don't know, just like gratify yourself in fucking that individual. It's like all like super animalistic. And I, like in a lot of ways, like I just think, I'm like super jaded. I just like really don't fucking care.
Yeah, true. I think I read like a few articles. Sexual relationship these days in selecting partners, and a lot of it tend to evolve from supposedly our ape ancestry. Hence why a lot of females find with jawlines much more attractive than people who don't. And I mean, it's just what I read anyway.
It's kind of like the same reason why does like the fucking why the lionesses all want to fuck the alpha lion. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just like we have like this strategic like mating strategy that is, I don't know, like inherently we and subconsciously we act upon this, and it's like okay, amazing. Why do we have sex drives? It's just like to reproduce as a species, and I'm supposed to I don't know, like I almost think like life in and of itself is kind of fucking meaningless, like honestly.
Pepe, you're being so depressing. Like you're so young. Don't think this way.
Yeah, don't have his feelings that you can.
I didn't say anything about his feelings. I said don't think this way.
For a long time, like I don't really.
When did you start thinking? I mean, I'm sad that you don't want to have children and that you're talking about adopting a dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've like, well, no, I mean, I've thought this way for like a while. Like, I just like don't care. In other words, it's kind of like I look at the game and I look at how people are, and I look at like what do you consider like a close relationship? I look at almost every relationship is by other people as being transactional. I don't see any like for example, when you're a kid and you think of like, oh, you'll find your one true love or something like that, where you'll I I don't know, just like you also like meet your quote unquote soulmate, and you guys will like have this connection that nobody can understand. But anybody who's been in a relationship like realizes that like you get those feelings like when you're in a relationship, and a lot of it is kind of misleading. It's ultimately your feelings that mislead you. And, the chemical. I guess you say like discharges or
I'm talking about being horny.
Response to your brain. Not just horny, but just like when you meet somebody and it's just kind of like you end up growing like it's kind of like why there's a honeymoon phase.
What is it profiting? What are his motivations?
But even that, it's just like when you grow accustomed to somebody and
your father, Tracy.
You love them, and then you kind of feel like, oh well, like you guys are somehow your bond is unique, but then it's just like ultimately we can look at how like a lot of relationships end, like marriages. I believe more than half of them fail. This person, but not the person you thought they were, and either you or your partner ended up doing something wrong, and so.
Bitch, I will fuck
it doesn't work out, and so like have I been like let down by somebody where I thought like I had this special connection where I'd never imagined they'd do like what they did. Yeah, I've had that happen. And I guess that, like when it comes to being jaded, once you've kind of like had that experience where you trusted a person, but then like unthinkable shit has happened, you kind of like at that point you learn to not trust your own intuition and your feelings. You realize that like how you feel is not to be trusted, and it kind of like invalidates every feeling you have. Because you realize it was just like a false sense of security, and I just, just personally, like I just don't. I'm gonna be honest. Like I really don't care to like date again. Like I'm sorry, like my relationship ended like right before the pandemic started, and I remember it was like really shitty. It was really. I really miss like affection, and I'm not even talking about sex, just like having somebody there. And then I got used to being alone, and it's just like now, like I just do not give a shit. Like I am 100% like unwilling to put any effort into meeting any, like women or anything. Like honestly, like dying alone. Like I don't give a shit about that shit.
Do you have family around you?
Yeah, I've some.
Just you.
No, I actually very similar, but in different ways. Do you feel like you missed a flag that you should have seen, or you just?
I know I did. I had like rose-tinted glasses on where like I know for a fact I did, and even I like mentioned them as like they were red flags. Like I definitely like I made like stupid decisions. Like a lot of it is definitely my fault.
Yeah, I sort of have like a mixed issue where I typically will like I don't usually miss red flags, but sometimes I see red flags that aren't probably might not be there. But yeah, I don't know. Today was a weird day. I saw a girl today in the library, and I don't know. It was the first time in probably like 4 or 5 years where I was like, I like this girl. I'm gonna go talk to her. I didn't. I missed out. But yeah, I don't know. I've never been the type where it's just like, oh, I'm at this age, so now I would like to have a family, but more.
All right. There you go.
Pepe. Sorry, Joey. It seems like you and Pearl are really cool, really close. Why don't you actually meet? I know you said you don't do long distance, but why don't you actually meet? You seem like you both very interested.
Maybe she's in town.
She's what?
I said if she was like in town or something, I'd meet her.
But you wouldn't go out of your way?
I mean, honestly, no. Like, I'm just not like. I'm not interested in like being in a relationship. Like, it's weird.
You don't have to be in a relationship.
Come on, brothers.
I don't know. Like, something's changed. Like, I've been single for like 5 years or so. And I just don't. I'd like. I'm so like comfortable being by myself. Like, I don't.
That's good.
I don't want to like live through the shit I lived through in the past, like being in relationships either. Like, I'd rather be single than go through that shit again.
Fair point.
Should we let comedy up?
No.
Are you guys all over 30 or in your 30s and over?
Beta.
I must be the youngest in here. Only 26.
Try to become.
Good age.
I mean, it's like you're not that young. So, in terms of like, you know, somebody in their early 20s, late teens. So there's a huge difference.
So you guys
Yeah.
I'm from New Zealand.
You like it there?
That's alright, hey. That's alright. Yeah, there's
It was until I was like 18 at the university, and you know, there's a bunch of them in the fucking football team.
Yeah, they're all in football team.
I'm just still, to be honest, we're just big fat fucks, eh? We're 6 foot plus and just fat fuckers.
The only place I've been to that had like a good bit of them was honest, which is weird. Is like Anchorage, Alaska.
Yeah, there's a few Tongans and Samoans up there. They're probably so over in California. I mean in LA, like Long Beach, Inglewood. There's heaps of Tongans and Samoans here. But the funny thing is that like the Tongans. Wasn't part of the
The labor is not sexual? Why would you?
Abby, did you at that the Henrietta Lacks?
Oh, what's up, Bobby?
Avi heard everything I said. He's laughing his ass off. He said it was sexual. This nigga said it was sexual. Can you fucking believe it?
And he knows what the shit I'm on.
The Henrietta Lacks being sexual?
Do you know the story of Henrietta Lacks, or is that a stupid question?
No, I do know Henrietta
Okay, so
Lacks.
he didn't read the book, and he
What?
up there in America.
I don't know, but apparently I didn't even know.
violent people I've come across with lions.
But yeah, these are some interesting claims right now. I'd have to disagree with some.
Wrong
I'd have to
about
ask
it.
for more,
Not lying.
Mental illness.
What's the fourth category? What is the category? Just like wrong? I don't understand what
You guys are way too skeptical, man.
Peoria, you can call it earnestly mistaken without being mentally ill.
I'm just like
I think
wrong
is just wrong.
without being, you know,
I'm not sure why you're insisting on naming it.
Well,
I
had the same question.
I'm just curious what we would call it.
I guess that you could call that delusion.
Just like normal wrong, just like.
Yeah, just like you got it wrong.
Yeah, normal wrong. There you go.
Yeah, that's a great definition. Like as soon as you were met with the truth of it, you would say, "Oh, I got it wrong." That's the fourth one.
Okay. What do you think, Arvin?
No one's gonna force anyone. God doesn't force anyone. But my question is always, has God done enough for these people to believe in Him? You know what I mean? Because they feel like unjustly, if this God exists, hasn't made Himself clear enough. Not necessarily seen, but clear enough. So I wonder what's the other point. But again, I always bring up this: 90% of the world believe in some superpower, a certain power that's out there, and which means God maybe has made the case strong enough, at least for a lot of people. Now, some of them might not believe, but these guys want more proof. But God is happy with the numbers.
All that 90% is that a religious belief of some kind, but it's going to be about multiple God. Necessarily.
Anything, even if they're false beliefs, they believe in something, that's out there, which you deny automatically.
So what does that prove?
That proves that God has made his case strong enough. He's happy with his numbers. If only 5% of people believe in God, this is like, wait a second, you got to make a strong case for myself.
God made the case strong enough for his existence that there's multiple thousands of different versions of it, right? That's
No.
made the case.
That's another step. Once we establish this one, has he made a case? Of course, he can make it like obvious. I'm here. A beam of light shows it. But don't forget, 90% of people still believe in that.
Make it obvious that there's a general case that some kind of God exists, but he's not really concerned with this.
Arvin, who gives? Look, if what your standard is, go ahead and have your standard of belief. Like no one's forcing you to do anything, right? You have a standard.
You guys are waiting for something obvious from God, and I'm saying He's already established Himself because a lot of people are happy with what He's done. You guys are not happy with what God's done.
No, you didn't say He's established Himself. What you said was an idea has been established, some general idea of some kind of deity. That's not Him, though, right? That's not Him in His entirety, not the specifics of Him, right? Just the general idea. So when you say He's made it obvious about Him, don't be disappointed.
Of course, Him. He sends prophets everywhere.
You just said
what do you think
you just said he wasn't interested in making
he sends
about him obvious.
Everywhere.
You just said that.
I've been everywhere, man. Look, Arvin, honestly,
he sends prophets everywhere.
The world is like balkanized in terms of like these beliefs. Is it not like a settled issue about God? You have like 2 billion Christians and 2 billion Muslims. You have a whole bunch of these like polytheists, right? These Hindus. What are you talking about? It's not a settled issue. At least 50% of the believers are wrong.
It's a settled issue with respect to God.
I think that's the most.
The other thing,
dude, I want to just knock the fucking teeth down your throat.
All right, let's not.
Come on,
but like the other thing though is like. People, like, it's not, like, this is not just a thing that atheists have to accept, where people think they see things and actually they're just wrong, right? Without being, like, having a diagnosable mental illness. Like, if you don't believe in the Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, alien visitations, all that cryptozoology stuff, if you don't believe in that, right, plus you don't believe in some of the other religions, right, you're going to have to say that all this testimony from all these billions of people is false, right? You don't have a problem there, but when it comes to your particular religion, it can't be because why?
Right. That was my point entirely.
I think that's the most interesting thing he said tonight. We asked him just then, God's made it obvious that he exists, and then when we point out to the case that it's just a general idea of a God, then he says, well, he doesn't be obvious.
Well, and also like I think we might want to draw the line between belief. So you believe God has made it obvious, but I have no knowledge of God making it obvious. So there's a difference there, right? Like, I know that if I jump off my balcony, I'm going to hit the ground. I know that. So why do you... I mean, Piper, I was thinking about you when I said this, but I feel like we're not really defining the difference between you believe it, but how do you know it?
I mean, it's partly going to depend on your theory of knowledge, but part of the basic idea is just going to be, knowledge is a belief that's connected to the truth in some sort of responsible, reliable way. Like, my belief that it's raining outside, that I form on the basis of looking outside and seeing the rain, you could say is knowledge, provided it's actually raining. But my belief, that it's raining as a result of just guessing that it was raining, right, without having any other evidence, and it happens to rain, okay, that's not knowledge. It's not connected to the truth in like a responsible, reliable way.
Right, and if you walk out in the rain, then you have another level of knowledge. A personal perception of rain. Afterlife. I think that's a very, very large claim.
Well, that's interesting that you say that, Joe. I've never heard an atheist kind of bring that charge, because that's a criticism that most of the time precepts and Christians levy against us. It's like, how do you trust your brain when you can't know where the brain came from or what the justification for its existence? They say why do you trust your brain when you don't have that's interesting. And the case is just that we do trust our brains for a certain amount of things. I mean, we have to. And that's what makes us, the Christians are no different from us, because they have to do the same reasoning process. People say that they start with a God belief. Well, you had to have reasons to accept that. You didn't start with that prima facie. You didn't start with it as a foundational belief. You accepted that for reasons. Now, whether or not they're willing to talk about those reasons is a whole other thing, and most of the time they're not. But that's just interesting that you brought that same case against, you brought that against the Christian like they bring it against us.
No, thank you. Yeah, thank you. I find that interesting. I find it that you get to a point when we are so small. We are so small. I mean, while we've been talking tonight, there will probably be in the factor of 1,000 deaths of humans since we've just been talking tonight. A large majority of those humans hold in their brain some sort of deity. But the idea, I don't understand how you get to a point where you're so confident that your brain, that can't even see, it can't even see ultraviolet light. It's like, 60 hertz? It can't even see as fast as a cat. It does. We know the physical limitations of all of our sensory. The idea that, and this is, I guess, where the soul comes in, this idea that you have this insider information that I don't have, and we're the same species, that leads you to a God that created the universe and has and this God loves everything you love and will always bail you out and never makes you feel bad. It's a big jump for me.
I think all humans have to trust their brains. Whenever they bring that up, I'm just like, well, if you're telling me, if you're going to sit there and tell me right now that you don't trust your brain, I'm just going to call you a liar.
But I'm telling you, I don't trust my brain.
Well, no. Well, I don't think that's true. Because
no, I do.
It all depends on the extent that you're talking about, right?
Right. Yes.
As far as the brain telling you what the fundamental nature of reality is, maybe not. But you trust your brain to take in stimuli and have some kind of inform you, of what you should do, or what the next appropriate step is. Like, you're walking towards a tree, you should probably turn so you don't smash your face into it. You're driving your car, there is another car that is all of a sudden in the same lane as you. You should probably swerve. I mean, you obviously have to trust your brain for a vast majority of how you operate.
Yeah, we don't disagree there. But let's take this example. Are you married?
I was. Yeah, I was. No, that's fine. I was.
So think about when you get in those arguments with your wife where you react, or with any loved one, and you react, and then you separate, and then you churn all that same input back into your brain, and you run it through a couple times, which is why I think meditation is so important, because it actually allows you enough time to dissolve sensory input. I don't think it's spiritual or supernatural. I think it just gives you time.
No, it's a distillation method. I totally agree.
Yes. So when you run it through your brain, you're like, oh, I reacted in that reality at that time with my brain, and I trust the same argument and realize that's not the case. So that's kind of what I'm talking about, because you're right. We do trust our brains. But it is different for me. Here's where I draw the line. It is different for me when, and I see this all the fucking time, and you do too, where people who are constantly in strife, oh, like, I'm not paying child support, well, God bless me, or whatever. Like, they think that there's this other person, this other entity who's adding information on their behalf that dilutes the actual reality they observed, which ends up always being, no Christian ever ends up being like, oh, I read that wrong and God told me and I'm a sinner, right? They don't really end there.
Oh,
they get there and then they go to church, they feel better, and then they call it growth.
Were you or a loved one admitted to an Illinois behavioral